Welcome once again to our weekly exclusive conversation with the Speaker of the House, Speaker Charles McCall. Good to see you, sir.
Hey, Scott, great to see you. Good to be with you this morning. We're getting close to the end of this session.
That's what I hear. So, one of the things that I read and watch is that the budget, working hard to get that done. Could you take us through the process, what's left, and then we'll talk about that special session call? That's interesting to me. So, let's start with first with the budget.
Well, the budget's been an ongoing process, even starts before session. You can even argue it begins July 1st after the last budget goes into effect. But at this point, it's always here at towards the end of session that the House and Senate leadership gets together with the governor and his team and kind of goes through the budgets. We've had the governor's asks, the budget that he presented to us on state of the state, and how we've kind of integrated all these different ideas and approaches. And we'll go through and hammer those things out, make sure we're all on the same page to the greatest degree possible. And we'll start introducing budget bills next week. We have to go back to our caucuses and go over those budgets and make sure that they're in agreement. They've been a part of this process throughout the session with all the sub-appropriation committee work that's done in various areas of the state's budget. So that's the process. That's where we are. I think we'll finish strong. I think you'll see a budget that will be great for the state of Oklahoma.
Is there anything in the budget process right now that has the ability to be as sticky as getting the education deal was? Anything that you see that could really throw sand in the gear, so to speak?
Well, I think there's just a few items that we'll probably sit down and have to talk through in terms of the great thing about being in the first half of the legislative cycle, is if there's something that you can't get complete agreement on, you can continue to work on that for the following year. There's a few items I think that that I know that we're going to want to have a talk with the governor and the Senate about, and they're going to have an item or two that they want to talk to us about, and we'll see if we can figure those out and weave them into this budget. But for the most part, I'd say the budget is, we're just down to the final few things to discuss in terms of priorities. But most of the priorities they're joint priorities between the House, the Senate, and the governor. So it's really less than the 1% that we're talking about at this point.
That means 99% is done, which is encouraging. When you look at this in terms, you got the budget deal with the education deal done. So obviously there was some things that were still moving ahead, but other things that you had to wait on that. So in the process, in terms of where you want to be, where you're at, can you get everything done by the constitutionally mandated dates?
Yeah, yes, we can. Education did take a lot of time this year. It was a very comprehensive package. It's a big package and one that has an impact on the budget. So, and the fact that we were able to get a package across the line in education, that certainly makes it worth all the work this year, all the time that was spent and devoted on it. It's going to be fantastic for the state of Oklahoma. A $650 million in historic investment into public education in the state of Oklahoma, along with a tax credit for families that want to exercise their parental choice options with private and education by alternative means. So that's a huge win, and that's also coupled with security officers for all school districts in the state of Oklahoma, regardless of where your school might reside, and some other things that were part of that package. So it's coming together. It's coming together late in session, but within the timelines. We are conducting a concurrent session also, but we will finalize everything by the constitutional deadline of next Friday. So had a great breakfast this morning with legislative leaders in the other chambers. We've kind of game plan the rest of this session out in terms of timelines, timing, introduction of bills, getting a budget deal, leaving ourselves time to talk with our caucus, and even maybe doing some last minute refinements before those bills start moving forward. So very optimistic. I know everybody is tired. Every session this time of the year, everybody's running low on fuel, but I'm really proud that House and Senate, their leadership and their members are continuing to move forward and to get the people's work done on time.
Why the concurrent session? Why did that need to be done? And how does that function as you try to get to that constitutional deadline?
The concurrent session just allows the governor more time to consider the budget bills that we will advance and the general appropriation bill. And it will also allow the legislature to come back one day if needed after the May deadline for any potential overrides if needed.
And finally, this morning, I'm wondering if you, now looking back at very difficult months, and on behalf of your caucus as you negotiated with the Senate and the governor, your thoughts about how the process worked and your thoughts about this being a sort of legacy achievement that Oklahomans will be talking about many years to come.
It was a tremendous year, a very, very difficult year. A lot of great ideas fleshed out, especially in the area of education. That just takes a lot of work. We did not come into this session with an agreed upon education plan to advance quickly, but we did come into this session knowing that we wanted education to be a priority and a priority for all parents, all students, teachers, and schools in the state. I'm very excited that teacher pay raises were a big component of this education package as well, to keep us competitive with the states that join us, and also in attracting new talent and into that industry, and also retaining those career teachers a little longer who are eligible to retire right now, but with a $6,000 pay raise for them, hopefully that will encourage them to continue to stay in that classroom and keep doing a great job.
Mr. Speaker, I know you're very busy, got lots of work to do, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you, Scott.